So y'all know what? I've been watching this interview with Leslie Jones because some people sent it to me and said, "Hey O'Neill, take a look at this particular interview with Leslie Jones." And I don't know. I feel like she's just off into the abyss somewhere. I don't know what's going on with her at all. But okay, her stance on marriage is kind of very weird and very dark, if you ask me. Let's go.
I'm not submissive.
Could you be a trad wife is what I'm asking.
Trad wife meaning like I'd be at home and take, no.
Like making Oreos from scratch.
I don't absolutely not.
Why not?
Okay, hold on. I'm not sure if any guy would want you to make Oreos from scratch. But cooking at all. I mean, not even that. Like, so you're telling me that Leslie, is it that Leslie can't cook, or she doesn't want to cook, or is she ordering out? I'm just asking for the guys in the back who may be attracted to Leslie and Jones. I'm just saying.
Because that's not who the I am. And my daddy didn't raise me like that.
To be
Interesting. So her dad didn't raise her like that? As in, like what? He didn't raise you to be able to take care of yourself, because that's basically what you do when you cook in a kitchen. You try to take care of yourself. Is it that he raised you to eat from fast food? I'm not certain. That sounds weird.
trad wife.
To be anybody's wife. My dad used to literally say that to me. I didn't raise you to be somebody's wife.
That's sad.
That's so brave.
That's actually sad. Hold on. That's very, very sad. If your father is actually saying him don't raise it to be somebody's wife, that's really, really sad. And I'll say that because then what did your dad raise you to do? I'm just trying to say, did he raise you to be someone's husband? I don't know. I'm not trying to be insulting here, but really and truly, if it really is a shame on her dad saying that, because it's almost like, okay, then what are you raising her to do? Really and truly, you know what I mean? Are you? What is it? Maybe she's gonna talk some more on it, and maybe I'm just kind of over my head on this.
I don't know if it's brave or smart. Most of the people that I know that's gotten married are divorced now.
So basically, we're going off of the the people that are divorced. We're using that as like a caveat to say, well, don't get married because people get divorced. That's like, but that's almost like saying, don't go outside because people sometimes, get unalive, or they get shot, or dog might run them down. That's like an anything can happen with that. That's weird to have that perspective on life, though. Because anything at all could happen to you. Yeah, that's kind of what that is. Every time I hear somebody says, most people I know, don't get married. But it sounds as though there's like some level of resentment as far as marriage is concerned. And so because of that resentment, it gets you here where you now start to just spew a bunch of different things that don't make any sense. It's quite sad that her dad actually told her this. You know what I mean? Coming from a man, this is kind of weird. The last thing you should be telling a young miss is that, she shouldn't be a wife. I mean, isn't a wife like a noble thing? Since when did a wife not no longer become like a thing? Yeah. Or maybe it's because I'm a man. Maybe because I'm a man, and so it sounds a little different coming from me. Maybe. I don't know. Y'all let me know.
And so really that's an indictment of the institution.
Yeah. I think marriage is legalized slavery.
You do?
Yes, I do.
Say more, because if I'm thinking about slavery and I'm thinking about marriage, there are two different images that come into my
Absolutely
head.
not. I don't think.
Hold on. As slavery? That is a very weird analogy. Marriage, slavery. Marriage. Okay.
I don't know how you don't. A man is, especially if he's expecting you to be a trad wife, you might as well pull out a whip.
And after this, we'll see if you break eggs again.
So, Leslie's analogy is saying that marriage is more like slavery. In other words, when she sees marriage, or when she thinks of marriage, she's seeing this image in her mind. It's tough that we're now into like an age where, like you do have stars that are no longer responsible enough to kind of think about what they say. So let's really go down the road of it. Let's examine it. Why not? Marriage, slavery. Okay. So for marriage, you can go down to the courthouse. You and the spouse, you can get, some marriage done. And then if you don't like it, you technically could go back down to the same courthouse. It's going to take you some time, maybe, I don't know, a year and a half, somewhere there. In other words, once you all settle whatever it is, the less that you want, the quicker you get divorced. That's the truth. That's really the truth. More than what anybody else tells you. The less that you want, the quicker you get divorced. So you could do that and you could get out of marriage. You can't get out of slavery. In other words, there was no getting out of it. I know there was a time people purchased, them freedom, but they still weren't free either because they always, were being used. They were disenfranchised. They were systemically put down. Marriage, slavery. Yeah, I swear them asked me to watch this interview. Leslie is off of her bunkers. I'm not sure. It looks to me like Leslie had something before she came to this entire this interview. Because she could not be speaking from her right mind. No one speaking from the right mind would be putting up slavery and marriage in the same sentence because them can't work. And I think I've heard one or two people try to say something like this before, but it don't make sense. It just can't factor in. The analogy doesn't work because the truth of the matter is one you can leave and one you can't leave. Like you could not have left. People could not have left slavery. The only way them could have done that is revolting. And revolts would have come with you being unalived, or you probably would have you had to stay in the mountain somewhere. You couldn't live back down into normal society. So this is the worst analogy ever. But maybe, and I'm just saying maybe Leslie's to a point where, because she's not the most attractive woman in the world. And so maybe she's at a point where because she's not the most attractive in the world, and she might be finding a hard time with getting the guys that she wants. I'm just giving an analogy here. Maybe she's finding it hard to get the guys that she wants. So because of that, now it's kind of tainted her viewpoint on marriage. I'm not certain. But I will say this though. Her dad is wrong for raising her like a man. Because that's kind of what I get out of it. He's raised her basically to think like a man. And I don't know. But hey, give me y'all's take on this. Is marriage like slavery? Give me y'all's take. I'm going to talk to y'all soon.